friend system. Because I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I'm the only one like this. You feel me? First and foremost, I rise giving praise to the great God of the universe of law. I give honor to his noble, illustrious prophet, Noble Drew Ali, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. The holy instructions and lessons taught by the prophet Noble Drew Ali, and we're going to compare them with the teachings that have been taught throughout the years by our brother Taj Tariq. I said it. We're going to compare the two. We want to see what is going on with the teachings that have been described as the teachings of the prophet Noble Drew Ali, as teach from our brother Taj Tariq. Now, let me first make it plain and clear. Family, listen. People, listen. All those tuning in and that will tune in later, listen. Trust me when I say this. I have no hatred, beef, conflict, or discord with Taj Tariq, nor have any conflict, discord, beef with any followers or students of Taj Tariq Bey. None whatsoever. It's okay for me to disagree. Let me help you out. It's okay for me to disagree. All right? If y'all in the chat and y'all disagree with me sometime, throw a one up. It's okay for you to disagree with me. And it's okay for me to disagree with my brother. But we don't have to fight. We don't have to get disrespectful. Only thing we have to do is try to get to the truth. Let's get to the truth. So without no further ado, we're going to breeze through this real quick. I hope we can hit hard, drop some bombs, and keep it moving, because on the 9:30 hour, I got the Grand Sheik of Temple number 11, Brother Axum Hopkins Bey, coming in to break down what is more science, what is it for. You know what I mean? What did the prophet found it for? We will get to the raw truth. So with that, I see I got one disagree with me, Dawn Rael. She didn't disagree with me. It's okay. Love you anyway. Anyway, with that, hey, my brother, name is Ella. You there, my brother?
Yeah, I'm here, brother. Can you hear me?
Islam, my brother. So introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are. We're going to keep this a fast-paced show. You hit, I hit. We want to share and show the people the differences in the comparison to what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali teach and what has been teach under the name of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, by the way, of our brother Taj Tariq Bey. Come on, my brother.
Indeed. Let me first rise, giving all praises to Allah. Let me extend my honors to the Prophet, the forerunner, and to all of the listeners. For a man honors man, he honors his Father God, Allah. I represent Temple 16 in Atlanta. I'm the chairman there. And basically tonight, we're just gonna go in on this topic and really just kind of set the tone, if you will. So you want me to just go ahead and start?
Well, let me test this first. First of all, let me explain to y'all who we're talking about. First, we're talking about our good brother Taj Tariq. And when we're talking about brother Taj Tariq, when we're mentioning him, we're not really mentioning him. Everybody, I said this last week. Brother, hit your mic real quick. I said this last week. I said, listen. I said, if you want to talk to or understand more, if you want to understand more science, you might want to talk to somebody who has been in the temple or has a friend that's been in the temple, somebody who dedicated their life. I didn't say you have to join the temple and be in the temple. I didn't say it. I said it would be wise to do that. But if that ain't your thing, then associate with somebody who has dedicated themselves at some point in time to the Moorish Science Temple of America, because they will be more qualified to teach you than someone that never been into the temple. That's what I said about that. So when I also said was, if you want to find out if somebody is qualified to teach you more science, one of the questions that you want to ask is, who taught them? It is what it is. Who was your teacher? You can't be always taught by yourself. Every master sat at the footstool of a master. You have to learn to follow before you can lead. You have to follow before you can lead. That's just how it is. So anyway, let me first share with you who was Taj Tariq Bey's teacher. First of all, from my understanding, and if I'm wrong, I invite anybody to correct my wrong. It's okay with me. I'm good with that. Anyway, this is Brother Taj Tariq Bey teacher. C.M. Bey, Charles Mosley Bey. If you want to find this, you can find this on C.M. Bey Clock of Destiny page. Anything that I read as of the next few minutes will be on this page. It's called clockofdestiny.com. You can find it right here. So let me read briefly. I just took out a little piece. So it talks about the funeral service, but then it goes down to say, during his lifetime, he obtained a PhD, LLD, 33rd, and 360-degree free-born Moorish Master Mason status. He was a master astrologer and Moorish constitutional lawgiver. Now, first of all, that jumps out to me. I did some research and I'm trying to find out what is the actual Moorish constitutional lawgiver. What is the actual PhD? What is the LLD? I was a little bit lost on that, but you can do the research yourself. Okay. It goes on to say, Latin, the native language of the Moors, was used throughout the program. My bad. He was born March 3rd, 1897 in Chicago, Illinois. During his lifespan, he attended the University of Chicago, after which he served in World War I. He then attended the University of Yucatan in Mexico, where he gathered knowledge of the Moabite nation. From that point, he set out to write the necessary documents, books, Cosmo Constitution Law of the Great Seal, and the Great Seal, that the world may be free. C.M. Bey registered his work with the Library of Congress in 1947, coded under USC Title 22, Chapter 2, Section 141, under judicial protection. At this point, he began to go from place to place to lecture and working to restore the lost people, namely those classified. Let's stop right there real quick. This is C.M. Bey. When you go into the diatribe about who he is, it tells you very little about his affiliation with the Moorish Science Temple of America, yet there is affiliation with the Moorish Science Temple of America, but they tell you very little about that. So I do have somebody that's writing a book on the topic, and we can go in that further, or I maybe get my brother Sharif N.A.L. Bey to come on here and give you a clear, accurate, historical account of C.M. Bey, but that could be for another time. But for right now, let's do some comparison analysis as to what he teach as a direct result of what Taj teach, and then let's compare that to what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches. We're gonna start with my brother Anand Dazil. Brother, you got something for me, brother?
Indeed, brother. Let me screenshot. Let me share the screen real quick for you.
I want you bang hard because I got to go. I got the grand sheet coming, so I got to do something. I got some stuff too.
So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. I can see your screen.
All right. This is a letter that I received from Brother Lasana Tunica L when he was still here in Atlanta. And I'm sharing this because it fits the topic of tonight's discussion. So I just wanted to read this email first before I went into anything else. And this kind of, I really agree pretty much with this email. So basically he came on Islam Moors. I trust all is with self and kind in continuation of your initiation. Moors, please check the Blog Talk radio show Know Thyself Radio, hosted by Brother A. Hopkins Bey, Divine Minister, who happens to be, I believe, coming on tonight. The dialogue is of high vibration, and the topics are very relevant for ones who still have the UCC, sovereignty, etc. residue on them. Please check the show, Moorish Jurisprudence with Sharif A. Bey. The Sheikh admitted he was one of the principal ones who brought all that European patriot theory and rhetoric to the Moorish hordes, and he's very much remorseful for the folly of his actions. He thought at this time it was the best way to actualize certain aspects, at that time, to actualize certain aspects of the Zodiac Constitution wrote by C.M. Bey, founder of the Clock of Destiny, social club and university, out of which was born Moorish Circle of Mothers and Sons, Moorish Order of the Round Table, Great Seal Association of Moorish Affairs, Mu Atlantis, the Maroon Society, etc. C.M. Bey's social club and university shared astrology, numerology, geometry, fabled, Moorish, Moabite history, law from his perspective, etc. With some Moors, yet he received his Bey when he proclaimed his nationality at MSTA number 7 in Cleveland, Ohio. Noble Drew Ali's Divine Constitution and Bylaws was the template he obviously used to draft the Zodiac Constitution. His teachings are not the standard. They're not the standard by which Moorish science is measured. They are simply degrees, and I wouldn't even say degrees within, but that was what he wrote in the letter, so I do disagree with that. Categorize appropriately. He then went on to say Prophet Noble Drew Ali and his demonstration is the standard by which Moorish science is measured. He coined the term. He is the founder of the Moorish Divine National Movement. We have a healthy respect for Brother C.M. Bey, yet it says, yes, we are to extend the learning, but not innovate teachings that are in direct opposition of the founder. More importantly, Brother Sharif mentioned that he often spoke with European patriot leaders who straight up said they were at war with the government. Moors following this line are in direct violation of Acts 4 and 5 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. These European patriots and militiamen are the authors of much of the folly being paraded around as Moorish science. These ones would re-enslave our people in a heartbeat, and these are the ones whose theory Moors are looking to for salvation. Insanity. Actually, Moors are 10 to 15 years behind the patriots who have now since moved on from much of the folly, and many are a part of the Tea Party movement and are flexing political power within the government. Moors are still chasing the strange gods of Europe, of which they know not, the reason the Holy Prophet gives for the collapse of the Moorish Empire. We follow the Prophet, no one else, over here to a destination that is not uncertain or unknown. And, so I wanted to share that first because, except for, that one point, I agreed with him all the way through this thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me share this real quick. I want to share this. So what we're looking at, right? What you're about to look at. Hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Let me. 1 second. Bam. All right. So family. So look, what you're about to look at. I'm about to share with you the Zodiac Constitution. So let me share with you, and I'm gonna just read. I'm trying to flow through this show as quick as possible because it's not that serious. So let me share with you the Zodiac Constitution first. Matter of fact, first let me share with you the Divine Constitution of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So look, I want people to pay close attention. This is not the literal design of the Divine Constitution of the Moorish Science Temple of America, but this is basically the structure as it relates to how it is written. So when you look at the Holy Quran, when you look at the Moorish Science Temple of America Divine Constitution and Bylaws, basically it's a template on how to run a temple, a organization, or even some would say nation. So you look at the Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make laws and enforce laws. These are basically acts that shows the one who subscribes to it how to perform their duties and how the duties shall be performed within the bounds of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Now, that is, and we'll get back to that in a second. But here's the Zodiac Constitution that follows, they say, that follows the lead of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I mean, the Divine Constitution of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So it goes to say this. Let's travel a bit. First, it says the Zodiac Constitution. If the lawmaker of 50 states society of North America should attempt to ignore the Moorish American zodiac law and birthright of this Constitution, it should be a supreme violation of their own Magna Carta Code. First of all, do Europeans even care about violating a Magna Carta or any other law that they made themselves? So if they violate this, they violate theirs first. And then none of this make rational sense to me. But that's just me. Anyway, it talks about the 12 zodiacs, and then it talks about, you know, the 12 juries of the 48 state society and also 9 judges. If you want to find that, just Google it, the Zodiac Constitution, C.M. Bay, it'll come up. But what I want to deal with here, real quick, I want to deal with 2 things. First, I'm going to compare whether we are citizens or not. Now, the Zodiac Constitution, Article 2 says, the Zodiac Constitution birthright of the Moorish Americans, the Bays and L's. Since the 12 jury of the 48 states Magna Carta document of white supremacy and the 9 judges of the Supreme Court were founded upon a Moorish Zodiac 12-sign mathematical constitution, the lawmakers have no jurisdiction over the free Moors, the Bays and L's, inherited land of the Moorish nation, namely USA, Canada, Central, and South America. The Moorish American nationalities and their surnames, Bay and L, are inherited birthrights. Without legal due process, lawmakers of the Union Society, USA. Stop there. The reason why I highlight that, because when you go right here, they call the Union Society USA. But then you go down here a little further in Article 3 and say the Moors referred to as Negroes definitely can never become members and citizens of the Union Society of the 48 states. Now, therefore, they cannot be forced to draft into the Union USA Army or military service. Now, hold up, stop there. You might say, why did I stop there? Well, according to C.M. Bay, it says that those who are called Negroes could never be citizens of the Union Society, which is the U.S.S.A. The U.S.A. They could never be citizens, he said. That's what he said. However, when you join the Moorish Science Temple of America, you actually receive a nationality card. And on that nationality card, it says that you are a citizen of the USA. Now, I'm not to say whether it's right or wrong. The point that I'm making is that C.M. Bay is not teaching more science. If he says that you're not a citizen of the union, whatever, and then he referred to it as the U.S.A., and the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, you are a citizen of the U.S.A., who's right? Now, even C.M. Bay was quoted as saying that we always present, this is his words, this from the website, Clock of Destiny. We always present social security cards, birth certificates of the USA when applying for employment, which is necessary. C.M. Bay preamble. These are the precise words of Charles Moseley Bey. Many more besides member of Clock of Destiny, Moorish National Order of the Great Seal, and Clock of Destiny College of the Great Seal are not aware of this or refuse to reveal this truth in order to propagate extreme. See that? In order to propagate extreme sovereignty doctrine. This is what we was talking about the other night. C.M. Bey understood what impartial meant as taught by one of his teachers, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now, the Moors referred to as Negroes definitely can never be members and citizens of the Union Society, which he refers to as the U.S.A. But I asked the question, who has Social Security cards? Citizens or no? I say citizens as well as those who have those temporary cards that come over here with work, for work and et cetera, et cetera. But you're going to be a Social Security card is a part of the fabric of the system or the society in which we live in. It is what it is. Now, you can disband it. That's not my argument. The point that I'm making is the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says you are a citizen of the USA. C.M. Bey say you're not a citizen of the USA. And C.M. Bey says you have and flash your Social Security card. That's what he says. I'm going to let my man take it away from here. Hernandez Hill, you got something to share, brother? And then send it back to me.
Indeed, indeed. Let me share this real quick. So, you know, as I was listening to what you were saying, you able to see my screen?
I can see your screen, but I don't see a share.
Okay, hold on. Let me try that one more time. Get that screen share. Hold up.
So why are you trying to get the screen share to stay together? What I want you to understand is that when we talk about sovereignty, here you go. When we're talking about sovereignty, just because the European or the government and those agitators may say sovereign citizen, and they don't say sovereign citizens, the principle is still the same. It's the principle of the thing that makes the difference. It's the principle of the thing. When you are teaching a sovereign doctrine, and this came off the Clock of Destiny, this came off their website, that those they choose not to subscribe to all of the C.M. Bey doctrine, which as I go further, you'll be able to see that the C.M. Bey doctrine is a little bit confusing. As I say, the prophet say you're not, you're a citizen of the USA. He says you're not. While my brother working on that, let me grab something else. No, I can't see a screen share.
No.
But while my brother working on that, let me grab something else.
There we go.
So, when you look at, I'm gonna grab something else real quick while you getting that together. All right. What? One more. When you study the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, right? You begin to understand that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali had like a call sheet. Game plan, marching orders. You know what I mean? The Prophet Noble Drew Ali had marching orders. Yet everybody wants to subscribe to their own marching orders. Again, go right here real quick, and I'm going to read down some more about the brother C.M. Bey. Hold tight. Oh, I see you now. I'm going to let you go now, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just going to touch on a few things you were just touching on. I'm just going to reiterate and kind of show and prove. Also, I hope that brother is still handing out them $300 checks, because I'm going to go ahead and claim that with this particular slide. So
there you go.
Let me read this real quick. We recognize the fact, this is from Taj Tariq's own word from the website itself. As you can see at the bottom, he has his name at the bottom of this. It says, we recognize the fact that the national constitution is key to any national body. and that it is the principal guide of law for national unity and harmony. We instruct accordingly, observing the divisions among the Moorish institutions, tribes, groups, etc. We work diligently toward the uniting of the Asiatic Moorish nation in our sovereign capacity. We are active, not passive, in striving to live clean law and principles. I mean, that alone, you can see there, he's referring back to the sovereign ideology. And, you know, that the rest of that you can read on your own. But I just wanted to touch on that real quick and then show you also here. This is an event that I guess they had on 125th, just a couple of weeks ago. And if you read at the bottom there, it says, we will share why you cannot be a member, citizen of the USA, foreigners hiding behind the defunct corporation, who can be and why. So right now I'm showing you that he is in total opposition of the Prophet with that one line alone. I also want to make reference to this top line. It says weekly classes are given by those who divinely honor Noble Drew Ali's life, works as sufficient unto solving the problems, social, political, economic, divine, and inherent of the Aboriginal and indigenous peoples of the world, with particular emphasis on those in North America, Northwest of Axum, Northwest Africa, the heart of civilization on this planet. So I want to touch on three things real quick. So the first thing I read, I showed you where he's at variance with the Prophet's teachings. But right here in the first line, he's saying that he honors him, and he said that Drew Ali's life works are sufficient unto solving the problems, social, political, economic, and divine. But yet at the bottom of our nationality cards, it says that we are citizens of the USA. But here he's saying that we cannot be citizens of the USA. So I just want to know which side of the fence is he actually on, or is he just straddling it, or is this just a word game that we're playing? Also, I want to also point out the part here, Aboriginal and indigenous. I know everybody gets real comfortable with that phrase, and it's becoming like a trending topic right now. I'm going to show and prove shortly how this can be detrimental for you. Okay. I'm going to share an article I found that's written on a police website where they discuss these terms and how they use these terms to target scofflaws and those who are outside of the Moorish Science Temple, because they know the difference for the most part. Also, I want to also address this part here where they're dealing with what they say, North America, Northwest of Axum, Northwest Africa. And if you were to study their works, you'll see that they are really trying to tell you that, if you can see here, the North America and South America is both Northwest Africa and Southwest Africa. But we know, if we study the lessons, and this is how I know these brothers are either not studying the lessons or they are intentionally twisting the lessons to their own device. Because key 33, is very clear. It's a very short question and answer. It says, what is the ancient name? What is the modern name of Axum? Africa. It's very simple. And then again, I believe Brother Talk is at chapter 47 or 48, where he then goes into being delineated, basically demonstrating how the difference between Northwest and Southwest Axum and or Africa, and separating or dividing that from then North America, Central America, South America, and the adjoining islands. So there's several key distinctions within our lessons that where this is taught, and I'm not sure how people are missing that. So you can see here, this is one of the maps that they use. Did you want to add on, brother?
Yeah. I wanted the question that you asked. What was the question that you just asked about Axum?
Yeah, I was just seeing if that was off the top of my head, chapter 47, or is that 48?
I think that's chapter 47, but I would like to read it to the
No, I think that's right. So chapter 47 and key 33 in the 101s, answer this question.
So when did you just say, repeat that one more time so I can share this and read it to the people so they can get a clear understanding of what you're talking about?
Okay, so basically, Taj Tariq and all of his, followers, listeners, the people who are studying the false information that he is sharing with people, I'll just call them lies. I'm gonna call it what it is. Where the prophet was very specific into what a Maxim is and or was, that being the continent of Africa, these brothers and sisters have somehow missed key 33 and chapter 47, where that is explained in detail, and where it's separated in chapter 47, northwest and southwest of Maxim, from then North America, Central America, South America, and the adjoining islands.
There we go. So what the brother is saying is they clumped it all together, is what you're saying, right?
That's correct.
So they clumped it all together. Here's the chapter right here. It said their dominion extended from northeast, south, and southwest Africa across the Great Atlantis, even to the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake we called the Great Atlantic Ocean. So I think what you're getting to is they starting to remix the prophet teachings, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, in a major way. It's I don't even know if you can call it a remix. It's kind of like a 180 degree turn. It's like on one side they're like, yeah, we honor the prophet and his teachings are what we need to solve these problems. And then in the very next sentence, they're saying, we don't agree with this, and we're going to tell you why. Like, this doesn't work. This is not who you are. It goes even deeper. Let me see here. So here's another piece of information. It goes a little bit further into it. And notice here it says MOO, the R, which is, I guess, the Moorish Order of the Round Table, is an active association of Moorish Americans, the indigenous inhabitants, there that word goes again, of ancient Axum, the land of Mu. All right. I want to stop there just for a quick second. All right. So again, he is equating America with Axum. And again, Moors, if you're listening, definitely go to Key 33. It's a quick question and answer. It answers that really quick.
We're gonna go to it right now so the people can know what you're talking about.
Give thanks, brother.
We're gonna go through that now. We're gonna go to Key 33 right there. And now repeat what you just said, my brother.
Okay. He basically says the MOO, the R, is an active association of Moorish Americans, the indigenous inhabitants of ancient Axum. And then he says the land of Mu.
So what he's saying is that America is Axum as opposed to which I knew we do know they were together at once.
That was 5 million years ago, according to that anthropological record.
What is the modern name for Axum? Africa. That's so right. Is it referring to the land that we call Africa in 1920? Or is it referring to the land they call America as a maximum?
I mean, it was very clear. You just read it.
I'm saying, if they're trying to refer to America as a Maxim, and the prophet said, what is the modern name of a Maxim? Africa. And Africa was named Africa when the prophet was here.
That's right.
Could it possibly, he means what he's saying, that Africa and a Maxim is the same place as it relates to the geographical location as we understand it today?
Most definitely.
Islam.
And so then let me add on here, in that last part of that sentence, it says the land of Mu. The land of Mu. I don't know if anyone has heard these theories and these myths regarding the land of Mu, but if you actually do your research, because we know in our lessons, man knows not by being told. But if you go into the history of Mu, you'll find out that there is no historical, anthropological, archaeological evidence that exists on the planet anywhere. The earliest references were by a European who claimed to have read the Mayan Codex, which everyone has, the 3 codexes that were saved. So everyone has access. You can go Google the 3 Mayan codex. But he claims that when he read it, he was able to translate it a different way than everybody else, and that he read that it was 10-foot tall, Nordic European, blonde hair, blue eyes, that had some exemplary laser technology and weapons and all of this type of stuff. It was then later on in the early 20th century, early 1900s, people like Edgar Casey and others who were doing channeling and, you know, basically hustling the people, claiming to be psychics and the like, and would basically talk about this ancient place called Mu. Now, I'm going to briefly just speak on Atlantis, because Atlantis is often paired with Mu, and so a lot of people say the Atlanteans, and the Lemurians, and so the other thing is they try to connect the term Lemuria with Mu, but again, there is no evidence for this. So let me just touch on it briefly. The Atlantis, the historical record of ancient Egypt as well as Greece, and find records and many of Greece's greatest minds speaking of what they learned in Kemet in relation to Atlantis. And there's actually coordinates that were left, and those coordinates can be found. So that's a whole nother situation, and that's a whole nother show. So I won't go too much further into that. But let me continue to read this really quick. And it says, in modern times, a Mexum is called Northwest, Southwest, and Central. And it says Attica. I'm not sure if they meant Africa or America. In contemporary times, a Mexum is called North America, South America, and Central America, including the adjoining islands, the 2 American Al-Moroccan continents.
Hold up, man.
Yes, sir.
Why they keep saying a Mexum is called North America?
That's why I pulled this up. This is right off the site. This is Taj Tariq's words. This is his writings. He signed the bottom of this. Okay. So it says a Mexum is called North America, South America, and Central America, including the adjoining islands. The 2 American Al-Moroccan continents and islands are the inherited lands of the Moors. The Moors are bound to these continents by heritage and birthright. These are the land of our ancient mothers and forefathers. So he just mixed in all kind of mythology, and a little bit of twisted up the Moorish science, threw in the whole indigenous thing. And like I said, we're going to deal with that indigenous factor very shortly.
Yeah. So I want to share this real Stop. I want to share this real quick. When they start crying about that Taj don't teach sovereignty, this, that, and the other, the brother went on the channel. Went on from the show last few days ago, whatever it was, and said, you still didn't prove Taj teach sovereign citizen. Stop playing the word game. The sovereignty is a doctrine, and the citizen is one who follows it. We know that the European put sovereign and citizen together, but that's not the point. The point is that the brother teach sovereignty. It says this: the Negro is property of the Union slaveholders. The Moors must respect the court by saying, I affirm. Here, the court has no jurisdiction over them, which automatically makes them qualified to defend themselves. I thought you always was qualified to defend yourself, but when you start saying that you live in a certain demographic and in a certain system, and you start using catchphrases like you don't have no jurisdiction and all that, that's sovereign citizen vernacular. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Don't be scared now because they coming for next. Go hard. Be a G. Stop playing. Go hard like you cuss me out. Go hard. That's what you want to do. You want to be an islander to yourself? Do your thing. Go hard. Cussing me out. Let's go on. It says that Brother C.M. Bay says this. Now, this is one. Let me stop this for 1 minute. Let me stop this for 1 second. Listen. Let me look at this real quick. Let me say this to the brother Godman A. Brother, we're not debating anything. Godman A, maybe you're not a Moorish American or you never heard of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Brother, we are working towards building schools, clinics, and grocery stores. We on it. But in the meantime, in between time, we have people who have had a 20-year run misrepresenting a holy and divine movement. Nobody stepped up to correct it. See, one thing the Prophet Noble Ali teaches us in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I don't have it right here with me, in the Holy Quran Moorish Science Temple of America, he teaches us the high of a thing and the low of a thing. He teaches us that there's two self. There's a higher self and there's a lower self. You see? And so when we allow those things that is not jiving or not blending or not cohesive to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, it's our duty to say something. That doesn't mean I hate my brother Taj. Taj probably led more people to the name of Prophet Noble Drew Ali than anybody on this feed right here. That's still my brother. That's not the point. The point is, it's time to get it right. That we are in the era of time. We are in the era of time. We are in the era of time where we got to get it right for unity to take hold. Let me tell you something. Salvation is personal. I don't really care about what you think at this point. I'm trying to help my people to find the correct path. You don't like it? Tune off. Right now, I'm trying to help my people to get on the right and exact. I don't really mind who don't like it. But that don't mean I don't love my brother. I will put my life up for my brother. I will sacrifice it for my brother Taj. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with everything he done taught over the past 20 years. Now back to the show. Everybody's scared to address things. But we're going to address it here. We're going to address it on Moorish World TV. Ain't nobody addressing it in 20 years. Name somebody in the temple that addressed the misinformation in 20 years. We're talking about a holy and divine prophet. If Prophet Noble Drew Ali would have been slandered, if Prophet Muhammad would have been slandered, or any of the great men that led people to the universal salvation, man, people would have went crazy. But we're not going to go crazy. We just going to put the clean glass next to the dirty glass. You know how I go. We're going to put the clean glass next to the dirty glass. You know what I mean? And I give my life as a sacrifice to teach and put the clean glass next to the dirty glass. If you want the dirty glass to stay there, you're in trouble. Because I'm ready to present the clean glass. With that, let me go right here. We're going to talk about this real quick. This brother C.M. Bey says this on his on the Clock of Destiny website. This is his words. C.M. Bey teachings. This is a brother that wrote and that was a follower of C.M. Bey. First, he says the Moors and the Europeans will rise together. All right, I'm gonna leave that right there till I get to my next point. But now listen to this. C.M. Bey's teachings were prepared especially for Black Masons, Black Eastern Stars, based on Clock of Destiny books and certain materials. It was a private organization and still is. Now, let's be clear. The point that I'm making is, do Taj Tariq teach Prophet Noble Drew Ali Moorish science? Do he teaches Prophet Noble Drew Ali Moorish science? So far, I think we got to know. Anything you want to add, my brother? We got 20 minutes. Anything you want to add, my brother? We're gonna come back and do another show because I got a brother that got some real demonstrations jumping off about the CM Bay degree, and we'll come back to that another time because we just warming up for my brother, Azim Hopkins Bay. I want everybody to give this a thumbs up this, because they coming. They don't want to see the difference between the two. Come on, my brother, real quick.
Islam, let me just share this just to kind of camel back on what you just said. Many conscious Moorish Americans, and this is also written by Taj, and so those who say he doesn't teach sovereignty, here it is. Many conscious Moorish Americans are extremely adept and very well educated and polished in the knowledge of self, nationality, and birthrights. However, many have fallen lax on the job of preparing and teaching the mores of sovereign power, which is the birthright of all Moorish Americans, etc. This is vital in a status and jurisdictional issues where the rights of Moorish Americans have been and still are being unconstitutionally abridged by others who abuse government through pseudo-government positions and offices and assumed color of law and color of authority, corporate entities posing as government. So as you can see here, again, basically this, so let me just, I'm gonna wrap it up in a sweet little bow. You know, there's a lot of things I wanted to touch on in this regard, and we can continue the conversation, but there's something that I wanted to talk about. And let me scroll through here. Okay, we didn't get to that yet. So one of the things that I don't think a lot of my brothers and sisters get, right, and is that this stuff, this whole sovereign citizen thing that Taj teaches, this whole, you know, he claims he doesn't, but if you go to the site, you'll find, like for instance, what I just read, that passage is one of the PDFs that you'll find on his website. And there's several passages throughout the pages that you'll just find him continually referring back and forth. Oh, Moore's got to learn about your sovereignty. And then on the next sign, he's like, oh, but we don't teach sovereignty or sell sovereignty packages. So he tried, you know, he's kind of like playing that fence again. So I just want to read this again because this is what I read the other day that made Polite run off the show and got everybody all riled up, and everybody started trying to cut me off and stop me, and like I was slandering somebody. All I'm doing is reading information off the brother's website, and as you can see, this particular piece of information is straight from Wikipedia. So this is not nothing that, you know, took hours and hours of research. This is a quick Google search. So let me read this about sovereign citizens, and the reason why I'm reading this because I want the people to understand where this comes from. Now, I started off reading that email from Lasana that, you know, he was referencing brother Sharif Anayel Bey, because Sharif Anayel Bey actually came on a show that I was producing a couple years ago, and, you know, basically gave us 2 shows, 3 hours long, broke it all down. And anybody that, you know, wants that information, contact me later and I'll share that information with you and, you know, get you that. But he's all over the place giving that information. I don't understand why people aren't looking there, because when you have the individual that basically started it, one of the individuals that started it saying, look, guys, I made a mistake. This is something I would, and he even said on our show, I was, what did he say? It was an experiment, was his exact words. It was an experiment. And it's just gone way over the top. And notice I said he was, you know, in that letter, I read rather, that he got that information. And he also said that on our show and on other shows that he got it from the patriot groups, the most racist of people that would put us back in slavery if they had the power right now. So let me read this real quick. The legal theories of posse comitatus, and the title here is Sovereign Citizens, right? So if you look up sovereign citizens, Wikipedia, this is what you get. The legal theories of posse comitatus have been further developed by the sovereign citizen movement, which claims that a U.S. citizen can become a sovereign citizen. and thereby be subject only to common law and constitutional law, not to statutory law, including most taxes. The Uniform Commercial Code plays a part in this in these legal theories. For example, see the 1991 case United States versus Saunders in the Ninth Circuit, United States Court of Appeals. Some African American groups have adopted sovereign citizen beliefs. Now, that refers back to what happened between 89 and 93 that Sharif definitely speaks on. And the movement is dominated by adherents of the Christian identity religion, right? Some within the movement see African Americans who only gained legal citizenship after the Civil War and passage of the 14th Amendment as 14th Amendment citizens. You hear that all the time, right? I know I do. I hear people always, 14th Amendment citizen. I mean, this is a bogus ideology. This is the mental slavery that exists that Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, spoke about 100 years ago, 80 some odd years ago. With fewer rights than whites. The sovereign citizen movement gave rise to the redemption movement, which is what I was speaking on when Polite was there, because that is what he teaches, the redemption process. And I brought my brother on that lives here in Atlanta, and it was shown and proved. He even remembered the brother, and they went through their thing. If y'all want to reference back to that, y'all can see that he got following the redemption scheme that Brother Polite was selling him. Which claims that the U.S. government has enslaved its citizens by using them as collateral against foreign debt. Redemption scheme promoters sell instructions explaining how citizens can free themselves by filing particular government forms in a particular order using particular wording. The movement has earned its promoters untold profits, right? So again, I'm just going to point at Polite because this is somebody that we know in the community that is living pretty good off of the redemption scheme, all right? And then it says buried courts and other agencies under tons of worthless paper and led to scores of arrests and convictions. The United States Federal Bureau of Investigation classifies some sovereign citizen extremists as domestic terrorist movements. In 2010, the Southern Poverty Law Center estimated that approximately 100,000 Americans were hardcore sovereign believers, with another 200,000 just starting out by testing sovereign techniques and resisting everything from speeding tickets to drug charges. So we can basically, what I'm saying by that is that if you,
hey brother,
yes sir,
let me join you in on that, because while you was doing that, must be truth is but one, because I was pulling up something of the same sort as it relates to the sovereign citizen movement. And this is what I found. This is what the European labels the sovereign citizen movement. Now, we can't rename it and remix it how we want it. This is how the European call it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but this is how he describes it. The European describes it as the sovereign citizen movement is a loose grouping of American, Canadian, and Australian litigants, commentators, tax protesters. I say tax protesters. What do we say right here? He says right here that the lawmakers of the 48 states cannot enforce the Moors, L's, or Bays to pay taxes, because taxation without representation is a supreme violation of the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, birthrights of Islam. Now, how do the Europeans describe a sovereign citizen? Tax protester, a financial scheme promoters. That's the redemption. Self-described sovereign citizens take position that they are answerable only to their particular interpretation of common law. Who says this? And not subject to any government statutes or proceedings. They do not recognize United States currency. What do they call the money? Fiat. Fiat. Fiat.
That's right, brother.
This is not the teachings as taught by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. clearly. And these Europeans are classifying, you ain't got to say you're a sovereign citizen. Your actions have been classified as such. And that is not the Moorish Science Temple of America case closed. Period, point blank.
That's right, brother.
And so with that, wrap it up, brother, because I'm going to go out and I'm going to bring it back in with my brother Axum Hopkins Bey. Y'all ready? Is y'all going to be with me for the brother Axum Hopkins Bey? I'm going to go out because I don't want this show to be too long and I don't want to mix his message with this message. So I'm going to go out and I'm coming back with Axum Hopkins Bey. Press one if y'all going to stick around with me. Give me a thumbs up. Go ahead, my brother Hernandez L. Close out, brother.
So I just wanted to.
We're going to do it again.
Yeah, we're going to have to because I had about 70 slides here and I only got through about 5 or 6.
We're going to do a part 2, 3, 4, 5 and tell everybody run to the temple. The prophet said there's going to come a time that people are going to run to the temple.
That's right, brother. So I wanted to touch on, so the last little passage I read about sovereign citizens, the first line, first couple words, referenced the posse comitatus, right? So let's read what the posse comitatus is so we can understand it. That whole entire ideology, again, practically comes from the Ku Klux Klan.
You got to hurry up, though, because
I'm about to close it out. But look, this is important because I want to drive this point home. That ideology comes to you by way of the Ku Klux Klan, period. The posse comitatus. Latin.
That's the show. That's the show. Can we do a show on that? That's the show.
Yes. So that means the force of the country. It is a loosely organized far-right social movement in the United States starting in the late 1960s, whose members spread a conspiracy-minded anti-government and anti-Semitic message in the name of white Christians to counter what they believe is an attack on their social and political rights. Many posse members practiced survivalism and played a role in the formation of the armed citizens militias in the 1990s. The posse comitatus pioneered the use of false liens, which we see a lot of these brothers who claim to be Moors doing, and other types of paper terrorism. So that all that paper terrorism that you brothers and sisters are practicing, give it up. If you don't realize that you have been in error, realize it today, to harass the opponents with frivolous legal actions. And again, I could go on, but I'm gonna leave it there and we'll come back and we'll touch some more on this.
Islam, brother. And when we come back, we're coming back twice as strong. Again, let me close and say this. This is no attack to Taj Tariq. We are only looking at the doctrine in which the brother teaches. He's been teaching it he's been teaching it for over 20 years undisturbed. Nobody said nothing. I disagree with it. I don't think it's the teachings of the prophet. Therefore, we must teach what the prophet taught. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to teach what the prophet taught. And either you're going to drop your bay, cease wearing your turban or your fez, return back to the state where whoever found you, hopefully if the prophet found you, you can't do that. Because if the prophet found you, you won't do that. But maybe you need to get with Taj movement. Get them to create something. But it's just not the teachings of the prophet over Drew Ali. Peace and love, family. We're coming right back. In like 2 minutes, I'm just going to go out and I'm coming right back in. Everybody thumbs up the video. I'm telling you. Because after the video go down, they going to thumbs down. Cujo and them. I'll be right back.